Who that girl with the nice book song? Hey guys. So what's up? It's me, V. Some of you guys call me V Jour, some of you guys say V. Your results self-confidence coach. Okay? And today's topic of discussion is finding yourself after a breakup or a divorce or just the ending of a cycle. For me, my experience, I was married for 7 years. And with that 7 years, it was, God, that was something. It definitely was something because I was married for 7 years and I had children out of that marriage as well. And that was a very difficult time for me. So yes, I can actually speak on it. It was difficult because it is separating your family. It is separating, your children and the family as they know it. And you just trying to find yourself all over again. You may be with somebody who is manipulative and make you feel like if you leave them, you're not going to be anything, and that could just really drive down your self-confidence. And that was my situation. I remember the exact words that he told me, and he said to me, no one is gonna want to marry you because you have 3 children, and if they do, it will be a charity case, basically. Like they'll be marrying you out of pity or being with you out of pity. And at that time, like I had just gone natural, so my hair was like super short. I had a baby. I had just had a baby. And so I felt like fat. I felt, how you feel after a baby, how you feel while you're pregnant. It was just so much at one time that I was experiencing. At that time I had 2 other small little children, and just losing my family. I had left everyone, my whole entire family in Texas and everything for this individual. So I don't want to get too much into that because all that's going to be in the other video. But just to give you, a brief synopsis of everything. So I left that marriage, and that was, as I said, 7 years. And it took a whole lot. When I say a lot, man, listen, because you got to remember, like at this point, like I'm feeling fat, I'm feeling like unattractive. I have these 2 children, these 3 children. Now I'm like, maybe he's right. Maybe I should just go back. And I knew that I wasn't really happy. And so it was so much that I had to try and get through. So how did I get through that? Here we go. The first thing I started to do was pray. That was one. If you believe in God, if you don't, higher power, universe, whatever you want to call it. For me, I had to pray because I remember even when I was pregnant, I was just like, just take me, Lord. Like, why am I still here? I knew there was purpose for my life, and I knew that there was purpose for the child that I was carrying in life, because I had been through so much during that pregnancy. Like so many times I said she is not supposed to be here, but she was definitely supposed to be here. And you know what? That's another story I'll tell you guys. So being in that verbally and domestic abusive that's at some point, and whatever, all that at one, it was just too much. So I started to get to the point where I really believed what he told me in regards to who I was, or who and what I was gonna be. And it was so much. Like, he had such a foot over my neck type of thing in that relationship. They didn't necessarily want me to go to school. They didn't want me to work. I didn't know who I was. You know what I mean? I was 18, losing my identity at that age, and then being a housewife, and then having 3 children, being a mother, and everything else, trying to figure out. It was just like, oh, And so I prayed. That was number one. I just asked God to remove the pain. And to this day, like, that's the only way that things pretty much, I feel like once that pain got lifted, I was able to now go into the next steps. Like, I felt like the higher power was the first thing for me, to be able to really take control over who I was trying to be, who I was trying to figure out I was. Um, it was just a lot, you know. So at that point in time, after my prayer, I said, okay, that's number one, prayer. Okay. Um, After that, it was so bad that I would slowly but surely start like to meet guys and stuff like that here and there, and people, oh, you're beautiful, you're beautiful. But every woman knows that it means nothing. Nothing. A whole bunch of people, the whole world can tell you you're beautiful. And it means nothing if it's not from the person you want to hear it from, or if you don't believe it yourself. So at that time, I would literally introduce myself to people at, oh, hi, my name is Vijor. I have 3 children. Hey, I just want to let you know. Is it cool? It's not cool? Okay, you want to go?
Okay, fine. Are you scared? Should you run now? Should I leave?
And so many people were like, why are you doing that? Like, so what? We're in the millennium, like the millennial times. Like, everybody has children at this point in time. That's not gonna stop me. You're an amazing person, and that's not gonna stop me if I want to move forward from you. There's no need for you to do that. You don't know how many times I heard that. So, you know, I would hear it and I still would go phew, phew, right out of the other ear, because I was like, this guy instilled pretty much in my head that basically nothing without him type of thing. So, okay, then I started to get into the gym. I started to eat right. Right. Started to makeup was a fun thing for me. It wasn't something I felt like it was I needed to do, because I still don't really know how to do it. But I started to do that, like, you know, start to put some effort back into myself. I forgot who I was, and that's another video too, because I started to, it was so, I forgot, like when I say forgot who I was. I was a vibrant person. I used to sing. I was doing so much. I was very active. I was funny, you know. And in my last video, I said, you know, I had no compatibility with the guy I was married to. So like the jokes that I thought were funny, like to everybody else it was, to him it wasn't. And because his opinion meant so much to me at that point in time, you know, it just made me feel like, okay, maybe I'm not, or whatever, you know, just like a cool person or have a cool personality. He really made me feel that way. So I started getting back into myself. I started to, you know, have fun again, see life in a different angle or whatever, once I started to instill these things within my head. Affirmations, oh my gosh, that's key. Anything you say after I am in fact is in fact true. Okay, so you shouldn't even say like I am. I don't even want to say it. SICK, or I am UGLY, or whatever. I don't even like to say those things, because I'm not talking. I don't believe those things. I am beautiful. I am smart. I am, you know, I do have a great personality and things of this nature. I started to instill that within myself, reading books like In the Meantime. Like, while In the Meantime is like after, that's by Yana. Like after, that's by Jan Van Zant, I believe. Um, I started to read. Lisa Nichols is actually an awesome, awesome book as well. I mean, person. Motivational speeches such as Les Brown, different people I would listen to just every morning. That's why they say as soon as you wake up in the morning, you're supposed to impact it with something positive, be it positive affirmation, prayer, motivational speeches, or whatever. Don't wake up and start going to Instagram and going to the news where you hear and see all these negative things. Like, no, that's going to negatively impact your perception of your day or of your life or your current situation. X that out, bro. That ain't it. You know. So I started to do this every morning, and I started to instill it in myself, and I started to feel damn good about myself. I was working out, I was eating good. You know, the children, we were happy. And when you're not happy, your children pick up and feed on that. And there's no one stronger than a woman who is trying to save face for her children, like smiling and acting like everything is okay, going to the park, having fun, and you're dying inside. And one thing my son told me when he was, I want to say 6, he said, "Mommy, like, I know you're sad." And at that time, I was so like, I was like, no, 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 I have allergies and things like that. And even that like makes me a little emotional to know, you know, he's seen it. And my son, he is an old man trapped in, that boy is like a 60, 70-year-old man trapped in a 11-year-old, I'm telling you. But overall, so I started to do these things, right? And guys, like I said, will come to me, oh man. And at this time, I don't see my transformation because I'm so indulged and so heavily involved in what I'm doing. I don't even see my face is slimming, my body is slimming, my skin is clearing. Bars. um so many things I'm doing that's changing on the outside. It happened inevitably because I was already saying this on the inside, spiritually and mentally and things like that about myself. But when you see yourself every day, you don't really necessarily see the changes, but everybody else was seeing it, and they were like, you glowing, girl, you happy, you this, you that. And I was just like, well, thank you. I didn't really know. So these are some of the things that, remembering who you were. Remember what you used to do. If you used to paint, if you used to play the piano. And it's not even just for girls too, even guys too, who lose themselves in women. You gave everything to a woman. Learn how to love yourself again. Never let your past person in your life have that type of an effect. I always used to say, never stop being a good woman for a man who didn't deserve or see your worth. Or never stop being a good man because of a woman who didn't see or deserve your worth. You gave her everything and now she cheated on you. So now you like, F all women, and I'm gonna go out and be a slut, man whore, and just slaughter these women. And you know what I mean? Like, you go out on this crazy lunatic of a mindset and mind frame, and you just start having sex with everybody just because it is one person, which means that person is still essentially taking over and controlling your life. You haven't gained control over your life. That person can still come in to this day and change the game. Not I, said the pussycat. When I realized that, okay, when I got into this new relationship, that, okay, I can't trust him. He didn't do nothing. What are you doing? What are you, asking all these questions that I was asking before. That
Asking all them questions. Why you asking all them questions? Making statements.
So we're asking all these questions before that isn't basically relevant to the relationship that I am in now. And that made me realize, like, wow, this person really still has control over my present situation. And that is not gonna be anymore. So I started to change my mind frame, my mindset on the way I was doing things, the way I was handling my situation, started to better myself, started to read, started to meditate. And meditating, bro, that's a whole series. That ain't even a whole nother video. That's a whole freaking series, trilogy, because you really, to silence your mind is like, let me not even start to get into it because I'm going to want to keep going. But I started to meditate. I started to like focus on breathing, and all these things help. Like, seriously, the way you treat your body on the inside, like you eating all that crappy food, you're going to feel crappy. You don't know the animals that you're putting into your body. The way they suffer, the way you're suffering on the inside. I know it sounds crazy, but it's real. Yeah, so watching the things you intake, working out, reading, watching what you're putting into your head. If you're somebody who likes to watch like scary movies and fighting videos and drama, I don't watch none of that stuff. I mean, I guess here and there it could be good, but no, I don't like to. I don't watch Love and Hip Hop. I don't watch none of that stuff. All that drama, it just gives me a headache. Like, to see grown people, I just can't. I stay far away from the drama. And doing that, isolating myself from negative people, negative energy. I don't care if they was family members or not. I have family members who straight up told me, like, bro, we haven't heard from you in like months. Like, what are you doing? Are you okay? Like, sometimes you just need to block everybody out. And everybody's not going to understand. You're going to lose friends. You're going to lose people who you thought were family or whatever, however you wanted to look at them. Why? And that's fine, because that means you can no longer take those people to the next level of where you're supposed to go. Like, that's just it. That's it. It had its reasoning for whatever that time of season that they came into your life. It was for a certain time. It was a certain lesson you were to get out of that. It wasn't long term, and that's fine. Understand what you were supposed to learn from it. Understand every relationship that went wrong, try to take something from it that will better you. You understand what I'm saying? Sorry, I'm stuttering a lot because I have so much I want to say and I get so excited about this stuff. But, you know, find the things that went wrong, whether your last marriage, be a friendship. It could be you and a girl and a girl, a guy and a guy, not even a relationship. Just y'all could have been friends. How did you fall out? How could you have done things better, you know? So once you start to really tackle and understand, like, the dynamics of people and relationships and where you're going and where you went wrong and everything like that, it helps you to mold into this better person. And while you're so focused on diving into you, you lose that sense of dependence that you had on that relationship and that person and that whatever. It becomes over here. You see how you can't see my arm anymore? Like, it's gone. You know what I mean? That's how at once upon a time relationship that you felt like you didn't know how you were going to live without or do without is gone. It's gone, you know, and just like that, you start getting so heavily involved in your excitement of the new person that you're becoming and you're stepping into and everything else like that. I'm happy for whoever I'm talking to right now who is stepping into her greatness or his greatness. Like, come here. Yes. I'm just happy for you because I feel like that feeling of just, I mean, I'm telling you, like, I went from hold that girl with the dice book song. But I went from, like, seriously being depressed to just like, oh, free. Like, the freedom that I experienced was like on a whole nother level. And I'm so excited for the y'all who are getting ready to embark on that journey of figuring out who you are, because the moment you do, you open up the doors to so much greatness for your life. Don't let those people continue to have control over your life, because that's what you're doing. You are continuing to let that person have control over your life.
You'll never be happy.
Okay, so give everybody a new and fair chance. Give yourself a chance. Let go. It's not easy. Somebody asked me, could I make a video on having children and being in a separate, raising children in separate households. It's not easy. People do that every day. But how do you do it, like, as a mom? And that's a whole nother video. But it's stressful to know that you're leaving what was a family ordeal. It happens. But this is the importance of learning people before you have a child with them. You know, I didn't know. I was 18. So moving forward, though, definitely know how to make different decisions now. But anyway, I hope to shed some light on the necessary things that you have to do, the essential things that initiate you stepping into your greatness. I hope I was able to really help you with that. I hope I was able to help you shed light on things that you can now do differently that will better help you better. Okay? So I am signing out once again. This is Bijor, Unapologetic. I can't never say my own channel's name. Girl, Unapologetically the self-confidence and results coach. Okay, we are here to make sure that you guys become the best versions of yourself. Learn who you are, step into your greatness, and people are gonna judge you all the time, like all the time. I get judged either way it goes. So at this point in time, I can only live in my greatness and live in my dopeness and know that, look, however it go down is just how it go down. I'm gonna go down in the best way. Anyways, love you guys and see you in the next video. Peace.